what we see in that equation. This is a normal cost graph that has undergone two different translations. What are those two translations? Kom ons kyk eers na hierdie twee wat voor hom staan. What does that influence? The amplitudes, né? So hy maak dat hy nie meer bo gaan draai by 1 en onder gaan draai by -1 nie. Hy gaan nou bo draai by 2 en onder by -2, né? Are you guys with me? It says it's a 7 at the top, and then below that it says question 12. According to Miss Conradi, that's where you guys are. Have you guys not received this yet? None of you? Okay. Ek gaan vir julle hiervan afrol, dan sal ek dit vir julle volgende periode gee. Okay. But you all have this somewhere. Okay, but it's okay. You can look on the board as well and work from there. Okay, so hulle sê vir jou skets die grafiek vir G op die diagramveld. So we're going to do that now. Oh, I was still busy talking about the other translation is this part. What happened there? Hy het 30 grade regs geskuif, né? You move 30 degrees to the right. Okay. Nou ons kan hom op die sakrekenaar teken, maar ek gaan hom sommer, ek wil amper sê net intuitively teken. So, onthou as jy hom wil teken soos wat ek nou gaan doen, kan jy dit doen in potlood and then you rub out and you only leave your final answer. Okay. So a normal cost graph looks like this. Well, let's kom net tot by 270. I'm only doing it for that part. So dit is 'n normale kosgrafiek vir daai gedeelte. Okay, so let's take it one step at a time. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the amplitude. So ek gaan sê, okay, as hy so lyk, dan beteken dit kos van of 2 cos x lyk so. Do you guys agree? Are you still following what I'm doing? This isn't the final answer yet. En dan die laaste ding wat gaan gebeur is ek gaan hom 30 grade regs skuif. Now, I can't rub mine out once I draw the last one. So, julle gaan nou net daai twee swart lyntjies moet ignoreer. And then I'm going to draw my final answer in orange. So, as ek hierdie ene 30 grade regs skuif, dan draai hy nou daar. Do you guys agree? If I move it 30 degrees to the right. This one move 30 degrees to the right goes there. This one move 30 degrees to the right goes there. And this one goes there. But obviously I'm not going to draw that part. Nee? Die een wat op 270 was, gaan ek mos nie teken nie, want hy is nou verby die grense. So let's draw the part that we actually have. Hy lyk so, en dan hier gaan hy, ons sal nou daaroor praat, en hier gaan hy so gaan. Ek gaan hom dalk nou maar 'n bietjie verander, want ons gaan nou die y-afsnit gaan uitwerk. Okay, and then this one also carries on. Do you guys agree? Het julle die basic form van om soos wat hy daar is, die oranje ene? Okay, now we need to calculate at -90, at 0, and at 270. In other words, I need to calculate all of those coordinates still. Almal nog by? Nee? All the other intercepts with the x-axis is quite clear where it is intercepting. So I don't need to bother with those anymore. I can just make sure that I have those points. En daarvoor tik jy hom in jou sakrekenaar in. So jy sê 2 cos en dan maak hy klaar 'n hakkie -90 minus 30. Then this is at -1. En dis hoekom ek vir julle gesê het, ek gaan hom later uitvee because we have a -1 on our graph. So hy lyk so en gaan skryf sommer vir jou daai ene in. Kan julle die oranje duidelik genoeg sien? Are you guys fine with that? Okay. This one I'm going to substitute into my calculator. I type in 2 cos and then I say 0 minus 30. And that is at 1,7. It should be a bit higher up. Stem julle saam? Hy moet meer daar wees as hy by 1,73 is. And you don't need to mark that one with a x value as well. Jy hoef nie te sê jy weet dat x 0 is nie, jy het hom ons nou so gaan instel. Abu, why are you frowning at the board? 1,73. My calculator gave it as root of 3. But root of 3, like what is root of 3? So I just put it in the decimal. Do you know how I got it? I typed this into my calculator. Nee? Want, Abu, nee? Ja? Want vir die y-afsnit is die x-waarde mos gelyk aan 0. So for the other one I typed in cos negative 90, like that. Nee? Om daai ene te kry. Toe kry ek die minus 1. Ja? Is julle by? Sora, het jy vra? Jou hand was hier?
As my self by met 7 wortel 3 skryf.
Dis fine. Ja, is 100% reg. Ek weet net nie of wortel 3 groter of kleiner as 1 is nie. So ek sou nie geweet het waar om te plot nie. Né? So dis hoekom ek hom as 'n desimaal skryf. And then for the last one I type this into my calculator. And it's negative 1. So that one goes there. En jy vee daai stukkie uit. So you guys will only have the orange graph on yours. So, yes, Albert.
And then it says if they ask us if your graph tells the concept like this, we have to get these points in. So if we use the calculator to get to that, we have to write these points down.
You always have to show, if it's not on on a point, like say a graph starts there, like the previous one that I drew. For that, I don't need you to plot anything else because you can clearly see what that is, like it's marked on the axis. But these ones that are a bit in between or a little bit weird, so it's always going to be where it starts, where it intercepts the y-axis, and where it ends. And this is especially when you translated it left or right. Like this isn't a worry when it's a normal graph where the amplitude has been changed or where the period has been changed. It's specifically when you are moving it left or right. You have to go check those.
So we can't just indicate it on the graph. We have to write it.
No. Oh, sorry. Now I understand your question. This, I'm only marking your graph. That was just to show you how I got to that.
Let me just use the table. The whole thing.
Yeah. Okay. Everyone okay? You sure? Roaring feedback from you guys. Okay, that should give you guys all of number 12 except for 12.4. 12.1 and 12.5. Okay, so vir 12.5 stel ek vir jou gebruik die grafiek om vir x op te los vir daai ene waar g van x kleiner is as 0. In other words, we are looking for g of x below the x-axis. You obviously don't have to write that down. You guys must start to interpret the question, like what are you physically looking for? You are looking for when the graph is below the x-axis. So kom ons gaan kyk, stem julle saam. Hy's onder die x-as vir hierdie stukkie en hy's onder die x-as vir daai. Okay? But remember, you write your answer in x values. So I'm going to say for this value and for that value. So my answer will be x bigger than or equal to negative 90 up to negative 60. Okay, kom ons. Hierdie was die vraag gewees. Okay. Why am I including negative 90 but not negative 60? Sort of. You're right for this part. Okay. So if that was smaller than or equals to, I would have included the negative 60. But do you guys see that at negative 90, my graph is smaller than 0? Do you guys agree? So then I have to say 90 or negative 90 is also included in my answer because at that point I am below the x-axis. Do you guys agree? So that explains this part. As for this part, like you said, because it doesn't have an equals to sign in the question, I don't write the equals to sign there. The only exception when it has an equals to sign in the question where you don't write the equals to sign in the answer is when it comes up to an asymptote. Onthou jy kan nooit asymptote insluit nie, né? You can never include an asymptote because no graph exists at that asymptote. Julle reg? Woe, kinders, julle lyk of julle 'n bietjie van 'n vakansie nodig het. Okay, same story here. Ek sluit nie die 120 in nie. Hoekom nie? Want hulle soek nie gelyk aan 0 nie, hulle soek net kleiner as 0. En by 120 is hy gelyk aan 0. So I don't include the 120 because they're looking for smaller than 0. And at 120 degrees, it is equal to 0. So it's not smaller than 0, it's equal to 0. So I don't include the 120. Maar sien julle dat by 270 grade hierso, is my grafiek wel onder die x-as. It's way below the x-axis, so I have to include the point 270. Graad 11, dis belangrik by hierdie dat julle verstaan hoe om dit van die vraag te translate na waarna jy moet kyk. You have to physically go look for where it is below this. Not on it, below it. Right? Everyone happy with that one? Ja.
Ek kan net sê x is groter of gelyk aan minus 90 en kleiner of gelyk aan 170, maar dit is nie gelyk aan minus 60 tot
Nee.
120.
So, wag gou, ek wil net gou, het jy dit gedoen? Don't write this down. Het jy dit gedoen? Okay, maar wat van al hierdie stuk tussenin?
Ek het die streepie getrek tussen die 60 en 170.
Onthou streepie is 'n minus. Nee? So jy gaan nie dan jou punte kry nie. Okay. Dit is fyn as jy net daai twee spesifieke punte wil uitsluit. Okay. Goed.